So this afternoon I came across something that was kind of distressing to me, but if given time and thought, it can also be something kind of beautiful. And I'll explain this to you. But first, a little bit of backstory. So, I know my audience is like really, really narrow. If you're watching this, I'm assuming I've spoken to you at some point in my life. That's my viewership. It's people I actually know. Sad. But if I've spoken to you about YouTube or anything, I've definitely talked about the Vlogbrothers, because they are like my love. And by talking about the Vlogbrothers, you would have heard what a Nerdfighter is. What you may not know, though, is that the term Nerdfighter wasn't just like made out of nowhere. It came from the fateful day back in 2007, very early in Vlogbrothers history, actually, when John Green was at an airport. I was about to say hospital. Anyway, John Green was at an airport, and he saw an arcade game like the little Pac-Man guy thing, only it said Nerdfighters, and it looked like this. And he made this whole thing like, oh, this is a beautiful idea. This isn't about fighting nerds. It's about fighting for nerds. And he made this hilarious song about it, and it was just great. Great moment in history. But what I learned today was that this game doesn't actually say Nerdfighters. If you look at it closely, it says Arrow Fighters. So this whole title, Nerdfighters, which we thought was like this great game that was going to be like awesome, is actually not even a thing. It was made off of a mistake because John Green can't read, apparently. So that's the distressing part. But here's where the beauty comes in. This one mistake has caused so much good. Just from the title Nerdfighters came all these ideals that would fit the fighting for nerds. That would fit the we're okay with being ourselves even though we're not the most sporty, or the most popular, or the most eloquent, or whatever. We might be the kids who sit in their room and read for hours on end, because that's what we think is fun. And this is just beautiful, because it shows how much good can come from a simple mistake, as silly as mistaking an A for an N and an O for a D, which, if you look at this one more time, it easily done. I was fooled by the poor resolution in the camera that they had back in the day. If you just think about that for a minute, it's insane what has come from this one mistake. And it's a good mistake. I mean, think, if he hadn't misread that sign, Arrow Fighters for Nerdfighters, where would Nerdfighteria be? What would we call ourselves? It would be completely different. Thank you, John Green, for your humanity.